Today, I have someone who's going to give us really, really good insight on the supply chain and getting things that we need out to the people who need it, our medical professionals or people on the front line, getting that PPE. And that is Noah Dentzel. Noah is actually co founder, CEO of Nomad Goods, and now they're using their warehouses both in Hong Kong and in Santa Barbara to help in this fight against COVID-19. So, Noah, I'm going to let you take it away and kind of explain how you've shifted from making accessories for like your iPhone to now helping the world.
Hi, Tabitha. So it's kind of a funny and fast-paced story. We make mobile device accessories, tools for the modern nomad, and we, like everyone around the world, we were shocked by coronavirus and COVID-19, and saw it just coming in as an unprecedented tsunami of cases, of impact, and so we wanted to do something to be involved here. And as strange as it may seem, a lot of the machines and tools that are used to make iPhone accessories and bags and those sorts of things, think of it like a workshop where they can rejigger those tools and actually produce things like face masks. So as different as those categories may seem, our supply chain, our factories that we were working with were actually very well positioned to make some of these supplies. As we heard about the just incredible shortages of masks, we were up, late reading the news like anyone. We got to thinking, okay, how could we actually be involved? And realizing that we have all the pieces to this puzzle, from a warehouse in Hong Kong to very deep relations with our suppliers in neighboring Shenzhen region, China, and warehouses as well here in the United States. They're really deeply negotiated shipping rates, and an ability to ship to over 150 countries in a very expedited way. We were able to take that concept and go from concept to shipping orders in a matter of about 7 days. We've already shipped out 50 orders yesterday, Friday.
How difficult is it to kind of switch operations? Right now, the big talk is we need to be making ventilators, we need to be making PPE, and we need to get this stuff out really quickly. But there's not really a concept of how the supply chain works and why that's not a snap of a finger.
One of the things that we saw is that the traditional medical goods supply chain got quite stressed by this impact. It wasn't expecting such a surge in demand. I mean, a 10, 100,000-fold surge in demand. So we've been really lucky to work with suppliers who have been super quick to respond. Typically, a company is going to take a lot of time, think about things, go through iterations and reviews and strategic planning. We don't have time for any of that. If we do all of that typical process, we're going to be too late to the game. So we really put all hands on deck. We were able to do it in about the whole thing, including the website, explaining it, including speaking with people in the medical community, with researchers, with doctors. We really want to make sure, is what we're doing truly helping? Are we getting the right products? Are these properly certified? Are these, we want to make sure that we're throwing the right equipment out there to those frontline responders and make sure we're helping. So we did all of that. The feedback was overwhelmingly positive, and we were able to do that whole operational switch, which typically might be planned out and executed over a matter of weeks or months. We were able to do it in 5 days. And I think that we've been trying to share a bit of that message, with the point being is we want to encourage other people to be involved, to help out, to let them see that they can do this, that by all means, do we want any sort of competitive edge here? This is we're not looking for that. This is an at cost operation. We're leveraging and harnessing all of our resources, the team, our partners, to deliver these goods at lowest cost possible, as quickly as possible. We want to share any resources that we have that can help out other companies or other organizations that are trying to help. The goal is to disseminate that information so others can get on board.
Where are these shipments going? How, if organizations need them or want to reach out? I saw that your last shipment is accounted for, but you have another shipment that's set to go out on April 2nd.
We've set up a website or set up a page on our site. You can see if you click on the drop down menu, and that's going to explain the whole process. People can submit their orders. In order to submit an order, you need to include some of the information that identifies you as kind of a frontline responder. Are you in the medical community? What is your relation? What order size are you looking for? We're trying to make sure that these go to the people most needed at first. So we're not doing the general consumer base at the moment. We are really focusing on the highest need first. And we do vet all the orders. We talk with them to ensure that they're a bona fide institution or group. And we're also looking to make sure that we're not leaving groups out that might be otherwise overlooked. I think there's a lot of prioritization of name brand major organizations. We want to make sure that maybe the smaller ones aren't falling between the cracks here. And from the outreach that we've had from people, we're seeing need from around the world, from the US obviously to Australia and everywhere in between.
What's next for you and your team? What are you working on now? I know you mentioned you want to make gowns and you want to, kind of expand what you're supplying. What does that look like for you?
Yeah, there's a lot of different potential there. Just overnight, a new the Chinese equivalent of the N95 mask. That's an even more secure mask that really does a full enclosure. Just got approved, I believe, by the CDC. So we have a lot of changing regulations going on, and that's going to allow us to take on more product categories. We're really focusing on the ones where we can be most effective and most efficient as first, but we're also looking into things like thermometers. I tried to buy a thermometer here in Santa Barbara a few days ago. I went to 4 or 5 different pharmacies, wasn't possible.
Yeah,
So
not possible here either.
yeah, and that type of good falls into our wheelhouse, because again, it gets back to, well, we're making consumer electronics, but well, what is a thermometer really other than a consumer electronic? And one of the things we've realized too is, as much as we've wanted this and hoped that this fight would be for a matter of days or a matter of weeks or months, there's a real possibility that we're looking at this over waves over the next several quarters, over the next year. So while we have those immediate operations going on with the face masks, really quick turnaround there, we're also looking into things that maybe have a little bit of a longer lead to them that might still be incredibly in demand and needed over the broader fight. Something that I really want to reinforce here is we're looking in every way possible to do this at the lowest cost possible, to pass those costs on to frontline responders. Not only that, we're allowing people to donate, and getting those donations helps us service even more people in communities that might be more in need or unable to pay. So by all means, we're looking to maximize the impact that we can have. We've allocated the Nomad team's time and energy, in resources and talent there. All of our partners, for that matter, as well. Our supply chain in China has been so proactive and so eager to help out. They've been through everything that we're going through now over the past 3 months, so they've become experts in these masks and making these masks in fighting this pandemic. So we're leveraging all those learnings and just really hitting this hard with all of that. Our goal is to get things to people in need as quickly as possible, as inexpensively as possible.
For someone who doesn't know, and I'm one of those people, how much, if you could kind of describe, what does it actually cost to make one of those masks? I know that's a
So
difficult question to answer because you get discounts for bulk and these kinds of things, but maybe if you could find a way to kind of give people a concept.
yeah, so the more typically when there's not a 100-fold increase in demand, they're going to be, they could be a matter of pennies, 5-10 cents to create. Something that we've seen over the past couple of weeks is that a lot of the fabrics and the sub supply has increased drastically in price. And if you check out our website, nomadgoods.com, and you click on the menu, you can see our medical goods page outlining this. We've gone to great effort to show graphs that even show the component prices and how those have increased, and the actual cost that these are costing us. I think it's in a 30-cent, 35-cent range at the moment, more or less, per mask. And those are updating figures as the supply chain has been really crunched. It's kind of playing catch up. And so in order to make masks right now, that might cost quite a bit more than it did even just a few weeks ago, because of that surge in demand. We're really looking to bring prices down by whatever we can do, working closely with our suppliers. We want to make sure that these are, of the medical grade quality. We don't want to cut any cost corners there, but there is a lot that we can, do to reduce prices, whether it's through drastically reduced shipping rates that we have pre-negotiated with, just being a really lean operation and really just doing everything possible to move product out at an at cost operation. And beyond just at cost, the donations allow us to get masks out to people in need who can't pay for them.
And people can donate, of course, on nomadgoods.com. Is there anything else that you want to add or say or talk about while I have you?
Yeah, this is quite the fight, and I think that everyone, every company, every organization can be involved, and that it's, as unfun as it is to stay in, it really does appear that social distancing and these basic hygienic practices, as as annoying as they may be, they really go a long way. When you look at the curves here that have spread in other countries, you've seen that measures like masks and this basic hygiene, even washing your hands, really has proven effective. There was an article, I believe, in the New York Times, maybe just this morning, that was highlighting the impact that something as simple as one of these masks can have in reducing the spread of coronavirus. So everyone plays a role, and if you're a younger person who's not showing symptoms of this, by all means, you could be a super spreader. So it's really important in terms of protect yourself, but there's a network community effort in protecting other people too. So I actually have, for fun, some of the masks here. These are some of the samples that we got in, even just earlier in this week on Monday or Tuesday. So you can see pretty standard equipment, but something as simple as these types of masks, easy enough to wear. They're not, they're pretty comfortable. That washing your hands, just taking those social distancing guidelines, provided by all the different governments around the world, has really proven effective. So yeah.
And that mask, just so people know, that can be used one time. You can't disinfect it, especially if a medical personnel is using it. It has to be discarded because it could then be spreading if it was put in contact with someone else, correct?
That's one of the things that we've seen is, due to the just huge shortage of masks, a lot of people in the medical community have been reusing them. They've been washing them. They've been using scarves. So there is huge demand. And while that would be the more typical guidelines there, we've seen that given the just crazy shortage, people have been, reusing them. So that's part of why we're looking to get these out and to help get more supply out there, so we can practice the guidelines that we know we need to do, but which we can't do right now given the crazy shortage.
Noah, Dentzel, thank you so much for your time, for your insight, for letting people understand a little bit more about why there's a shortage, what it takes to turn a factory around to produce something else. Again, go to nomadgoods.com. That way you can donate, or if your organization is someone who's at high risk and is looking to buy some masks, there's an opportunity for you to do it there.